Hey guys, before we get started, I just wanted to let you know quickly that Super Functional Training 2.0 is on heavy discount until the 15th of July. You can get it for just $13. Link down below.
If you were to drop your I can do everything, a bit of everything attitude, is there one thing that you'd like to really focus in on?
I would struggle to drop any of it because of my nature, but I think if I was, probably calisthenics would be my favorite, and not even necessarily, the advanced skills, but I'd say the bulk of my training is some kind of like weird hybrid of calisthenics and bodybuilding.
Yeah.
With a tiny bit of powerlifting and some running and kettlebells.
So the list starts getting a lot longer.
I started off doing push-ups and pull-ups in my room, and I still do think, in terms of the superhuman aspect, trying to look and feel superhuman and being sort of finding that all really appealing. I think few things can beat a planche.
Calisthenics will change you. I've often thought of calisthenics as the thinking man's resistance training. While you can learn an incredible amount from any form of training, calisthenics truly does represent a journey. You won't make progress by simply banging your head against the wall. You need to be considered and deliberate in your approach. Or at least that's the case for the more advanced and beautiful movements. Your handstand push-ups, your planches, your muscle-ups. These are movements that appear to defy gravity, that look literally superhuman in some cases. I'm not talking about my own movements, by the way. I'm a long way from where I want to be. But look up a channel like Monster Strength or Sonderberg to see what's really possible with mastery of your body weight. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Where you can make easy progress is in these simple bodyweight movements, like push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, and bodyweight squats. And these will still change you. They'll let you take complete control of your body weight, and they'll turn you into a gym, allowing you to train anywhere, anytime. No membership required, no queuing for equipment. In fact, the best equipment you can get for calisthenics is only the stuff that aims to help you become more free in your own body, that attempts to get out of your way. For that, I can recommend today's sponsor, Vivo Barefoot. Vivo Barefoot makes barefoot shoes. Shoes that aim to get out of the way and let your foot move the way that nature intended. That means a thin sole so that you can feel the ground under your feet and even grip the ground with your toes. It means no elevated heel so that you aren't constantly walking around with your calves shortened. And it means a wider toe box so that your toes can splay out inside your shoe, increasing your balance by increasing your foot surface area. This is all crucial for calisthenics because it means you'll be able to feel the ground beneath you and balance better. There are moves that I can only do either barefoot or in barefoot shoes. And it means you're properly challenging your mobility when you squat, rather than using a big heel as a crutch. And one of their newest shoes, the Motus Flex, is absolutely perfect for all of this. As their most barefoot feeling performance trainer yet, it's perfect for giving you more sensation, and thanks to the extremely thin and flexible material, it adds barely any weight when you're upside down. Like all of Vivo Barefoot shoes, it also looks really cool, you get lots of comments, and it feels extremely comfortable. Visit vivobarefoot.com and use code TheBioneer15 to get 15% off your order. Thanks again to Vivo Barefoot for sponsoring this video, and now on with the show. The power of these movements, when used for high repetitions to failure, is seriously slept on by too many people. Like many people, I began my training this way, by doing huge sets of hundreds of push-ups at a time, along with sit-ups, pull-ups, squats and curls with light dumbbells. Later, I would play with tempo, going faster and slower and holding isometric positions. I would start doing explosive push-ups. I started doing handsprings and basic hand balancing movements. And the first time I tried the bench press, at the age of 15, I managed to press over 75 kilograms for reps. All of this came from these simple bodyweight movements, performed regularly and with an extremely high number of repetitions. I've been over this before, but this kind of training has the unique ability to fortify the tendons, to build strength endurance, but also a good amount of max strength. This is because going to failure forces the recruitment of the larger muscle fibers, because all of the smaller ones have become fatigued. And because of the natural occlusion effect that this kind of constant tension has, you'll also cause hypoxia, forcing the recruitment of faster twitch muscle fibers as well. It's harder to injure yourself with this kind of training, and recovery remains manageable. Think you can't build muscle this way? There are plenty of examples that suggest otherwise. From Mike Tyson, who built massive legs in prison, to athletes like Herschel Walker. Again, because you're maintaining that tension on the muscles, you're causing a buildup of blood and metabolites, and that triggers hypertrophy. The most simple training program of just push-ups, pull-ups and air squats performed to failure will give you a chiseled physique, an increase in energy and endurance, stronger tendons, and pretty decent explosive strength. It will change you. But when you want to take this even further, that's when you unlock the real power of calisthenics. Because in order to progress beyond this, you're going to need to use far more challenging and technical movements. Movements like the one-armed push-up, the dragon flag, handstand push-ups, planche variations, pistol squats, dragon squats, sissy squats, Cossack squats. Each of these movements is a journey and an education. They teach you more about yourself, about programming, more than nearly any other kind of training I can think of. And even your brain will develop as you progress. That's because these movements require a huge amount of body awareness, of divided attention. To perform a planche variation, you need to simultaneously lock your arms out completely straight, something many of us can't even remember how to do. Push through your shoulder blades by protracting your scapula, and shift your weight over your hands, engaging the front delts. And you'll need to contract your glutes in order to raise your legs behind you. If you're using the easier straddle planche variation, then you'll also need to work on your hip mobility. The same goes for handstands. You might just about be able to muscle yourself up with brute force, but if you're going to balance and then start performing impressive movements in this inverted position, then you're going to need to develop shoulder mobility to keep your arms straight over your head. You're going to need to control your center of gravity with tiny micro adjustments. You're going to need to grip the ground to keep yourself balanced. You'll be contracting the core and the glutes. The pistol squat, meanwhile, requires not only leg strength, but balance and significant hip and ankle mobility. Simply being aware of all of this places great demand on your working memory. Simply being in these unusual positions triggers brain plasticity and forces focus. But it's the journey to get here that's even more important. Many people prior to starting calisthenics won't have ever heard of depressing their scapula or tilting their pelvis. Learning to move the body in these subtle ways while developing the necessary strength and mobility while managing injury and recovery, utilizing strategies like greasing the groove, isometrics and more. It forces you to be patient. It forces you to learn. You can't rush this process. And when you finally do unlock one of the movements you've been working on, it's an incredible feeling. Because you've been on that journey, because you know what it took to get there, and because you've meticulously rebuilt your body to achieve things that legitimately can draw a crowd. And you'll do all of this using only your own body, all the tools you already have. Because you're working with your own body weight, you won't become slow or overly large. You won't need to massively increase your calories or bulk. Because this strength is about control, about inter- and intramuscular coordination. Look guys, I'm not telling you to become calisthenics athletes. Like any form of training, it isn't perfect. It doesn't account for the full variety of amazing things the human body is capable of. I'm just saying to incorporate calisthenics into your training, to give it a try. Because calisthenics will change you. So what do you think, guys? Do you train calisthenics? If you're looking for a training program that incorporates both the simpler forms of bodyweight training and the more advanced calisthenics moves, one that also includes other forms of training, then check out my ebook and training program, Super Functional Training 2.0. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.